morning, kids. My name is Jessa Midi Talaytay. You can call me Teacher Esang or Teacher Jessa. So, kids, I will be your English teacher of the day. Now, kids, do you love watching cartoons or listening to the stories? Okay, kids, very good, cuz. Be excited, kids, because today I will let you watch a video into the YouTube. So now, kids, let's watch together.
Hansel and Gretel. There once was a family with a father and two children named Hansel and Gretel. The father was a woodcutter, but times were tough and there wasn't much wood to cut where they lived. He didn't want to go far away because he would have to leave Hansel and Gretel alone. Hansel and Gretel wanted to help, so one day they decided to try to find some more food for the family. They went into the woods while their father was working. They knew they'd be walking very far, so Hansel dropped a trail of breadcrumbs behind them. That way, they would have something to guide them back home. But what they didn't realize was that a duck was following the bread trail, eating up all of the crumbs. By midday, Hansel and Gretel hadn't found any food, and they were getting so hungry. They decided to go back home where they could rest in their own beds and eat a small lunch. But when they turned around, they saw only the duck. They were completely lost. They wandered, and they wandered, but no matter what they did, they couldn't find their way home. Then a white bird wandered up and looked right at them. They followed it through the woods and into a clearing where they saw the most delicious-looking house they had ever seen. It was made of gingerbread and candy and held together with thick, gooey frosting. The closer they got, the more their stomachs rumbled. The door opened and an old woman poked her head out. "Oh, you poor dears, you look positively starved," she exclaimed. "Come inside, come inside." Hansel and Gretel were so hungry and tired that they didn't think twice about going into the woman's house. Once inside, she gave them tons and tons of candy. They ate until they were stuffed. They were so content that they both dozed off. When they awoke, it was very warm inside the house. Gretel got up first to see what was going on. The old woman had turned on her oven and was humming while she mixed some spices up in a bowl. Something seemed off to Gretel. The woman looked scarier than she had earlier when they were so hungry. "You're awake," she said when she saw Gretel. Gretel nodded. She looked around to find Hansel and saw that he was still sleeping soundly, but there was a cage around him. "I've had a wonderful idea," said the old hag. "It's so drafty in here. Why don't you get in the oven? It will warm you right up." Gretel was too smart for that. She knew something wasn't right about this old woman. Thinking fast, she said, "You want me to do what?" "Get in the oven, dear," said the old woman. "I don't understand," Gretel said. This woke Hansel up, and he watched from his cage. He could tell that Gretel was up to something, so he stayed as quiet as possible. The oven," said the hag, leaning closer and closer to the open oven door. Gretel took a deep breath, hoping that this would work. "Maybe you should show me what to do." The old woman sighed, but she climbed up into the oven anyway. As soon as the woman was all the way in, Gretel slammed the oven door shut, broke Hansel out of the cage and grabbed him by the hand. Then they ran away as fast as they could. They ran for what felt like hours before finally stopping. They were safe from the old woman, but there was one problem. They still didn't know how to get home. There was a big lake, and Hansel thought he might recognize the trees at the other side, but he couldn't be sure, and neither of them could swim. But then a duck swam over to them. It was the same one from earlier who'd eaten their breadcrumbs trail. "He could take us across," Gretel said. Hansel clambered onto the duck, and it swam him across the lake. Then it came back and got Gretel. Once they were across, everything did look familiar. They were able to get home so quickly then, and the duck followed, making sure they took all the right turns. Their father was so happy to have them home and safe, and Hansel and Gretel made sure never to wander alone in the woods again. Thanks for watching!
Now, kids, did you love the video? Okay, very good, kids. So, kids, this video is related to our class discussion of the day. Now, kids, let's identify the elements of the story in the video that we watch. So, first element, title, the distinguishing name or a written, printed, or filmed story. So, the story that, or the video that we watch is entitled Hansel and Gretel. Character are the people, things, or animals in the story involved. So, kids, who is the character of the video that we watch? Very good. The character of the video that we watch is Father, Hansel, Gretel, Old Woman, Duck, and White Bird. Setting. It talks about the place and time events in the story happened. So kids, where did the story happen? Very good. It happened in the house. Plot. Made up of events that happen in the story, and it consists of 3 things. Beginning. It gives the problem faced by the character. So, what is the beginning of the story, kids? Very good. Hansel and Gretel wanted to help their father. So, they went into the woods to find food while they drop bread behind their back so that they have guide if they go back, and without realizing, there is a duck eating the bread that they drop. Middle. It presents the action made by the characters to solve the problem. So kids, what is the middle of the story? Very good. Hansel and Gretel lost in the woods and they are very hungry. So they wandered till they saw a little white bird and they follow it. And Hansel and Gretel saw a delicious house made of gingerbread and candy. So the old woman living in the house let them in and give them more candy till they doze off to sleep. Gretel wake up first and check what is going on. So ending, it gives solution to the problem. So kids, what is the ending of the story? Very good. It is Gretel saw the old woman into the kitchen mixing some spices. Gretel observed the look of the face of the old woman. It is scary, which is not in the first they saw. So, old woman opened the door of the oven and told Gretel to enter, but Gretel left the old woman to show what is she talking about. So when the old woman entered into the kitchen, Gretel closed the door and helped Hansel get out of the cage, and they ran as fast as they could. Till they saw a lake, then duck, which is the same on the duck who eat their bread. So Hansel and Gretel decided to ride into the duck until they are able to cross the lake. Then they go home, which is their father is very happy to see them. So kids, that is the elements of this story. The title, the character, the setting, the plot, which is made up of 3 events, the beginning, middle, and ending. So now kids, I will give you a group activity, which is 2 groups only. Now here is the instruction, kids. Choose one story, then identify the elements of the story. So noted, kids, that your answer will be written into the cartulina. Then after that, choose one representative to share your answer in front of the class. Am I clear, class? Okay, very good. Now, proceed to the group activity. So kids, based on your learning, what are the elements of the story? Very good. The elements of the story is first, title, which is distinguishing a name, written, printed, or filmed stories. Next is character, which is people, things, animals involved in the story. Next is setting, which is a place where did the story happened. Next is plot, which is events of the story, and it consists of three things. First is beginning, it is problem encountered by the character. Middle, which is actions to solve the problem. Then lastly, ending. It is solution of the problem. So kids, don't forget those elements of the story because it is very important. So kids, this will be your activity, but please be with your parents or guardian because their guidance will be really needed in terms of answering this activity. Why? Because this activity can be accessed through Facebook. So guardian, parents, please make sure that the students will be the one to answer in this activity. The task that you only have to do, parents or guardian, is to guide your students. Okay? So now, good luck, and here is the instruction. Open your Facebook account. Then right after that, search our class page, which is the grade 4 angels. Then click the link that I've posted in our page. That is our activity in our class. Now we have to wait for the link to be open. So now this is the activity. So fill in your first name, your middle name, and also your last name. Then your contact number. Now you can start answering. Just click the box for your answer. And after that, click the submit. Wait for it. Then you're done. It's already sent. Just wait for the further instruction of your teacher. Note that if it is already sent, you're free to leave in this link and log out your Facebook account. So, class, for your assignment, you have to read a short story. Then after reading the story, identify the elements. So, noted that this assignment will be passed tomorrow. So, class, that would be the end of our class discussion. Goodbye and good luck.